Um, Thanks everyone for choosing to come to class again this Tuesday. Just real quickly, right, look around and make sure that you're in a safe space and there's nothing slippery. Like I have a t-shirt sitting here. I don't want to fall on it, so I'm going to move it out of the way. So just make sure you're in a safe space. We're going to start by in a seated shape. Sorry, we're going to start seated. So if sitting on the floor is kind of hard on your bum or on your hips or your legs or your knees or anything, please just hop up and grab a chair. We'll probably be sitting for maybe 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, so we're gonna sit. Of course, when we're doing our meditation to start, if you want to lie back, go ahead. But we're going to come up and do some stuff with our arms and our shoulder blades. And so just making sure that you feel comfortable and supported when you're sitting. Okay, so figure out, right, if you want to be in your chair, if you want to sit on the floor, you could sit crisscross applesauce. You could bring your knees out in front of you. You could sit up on a block, right, or a blanket. By all means, find a chair if that is most supportive, okay? So what works for me might not work for you. So figuring that part out. And then as you figure that part out, just giving yourself time to settle. Just letting your body pause for a moment. Slowing your bones down. Letting your bones settle. And then dropping your awareness into your body. It might take some time, right? Leaving what we were just doing and transitioning into this practice of embodiment, being present in our bodies. And so each one of us, very, very different and unique. And each one of us has our own connection to dropping in, to feeling and being present in our bodies. So giving yourself some time. And then as you transition and drop inward, let's take maybe 5 to 10 breaths to do a very mindful body scan, breath scan, checking in, noticing. You might notice your mental landscape. You might check in, notice how your body is feeling today. You might notice how you're feeling emotionally today. What does it feel like to breathe? What's your energy like? And just pausing, checking in. There's no need for any judgment or explanation. Just feeling, noticing, present time, moment to moment, breath to breath experience. And giving yourself a nice full inhale and a full exhale. What do you need as you take the next 5 breaths? What do you need here in this moment? And then when you feel the end of your next exhale, letting all of that air out, full commitment, exhale, breathing. And just gently let our eyes open. So we're going to start by just kind of waking up and trying to feel a little more awareness into your shoulders, right? And into your upper back body, okay? So as you're sitting, I'm going to scoot back just a little bit and give you a little side view here. Feel free to bring your right hand. I'm going to use my left arm. Your right arm around and see if you can feel the tip back here of your left shoulder blade, okay? So as I reach around under my armpit, right, I can feel the back of the arm bone and the shoulder, and then I can feel the shoulder blade, okay? If you don't have this much range of motion, don't force it, right? You can come here, right? Maybe you come a little bit closer, right, to your chest, that's okay. We want to understand, right, this is that shoulder blade. And shoulder blades move. Ideally, they move and slide and glide on our backs, okay? So you're going to take your left arm just straight ahead, right? And it's going to be about as high as your shoulder, maybe a wee bit higher, okay? And if this is, right, impinging, for sure, drop it lower, okay? You can do this here too. We're going to reach that arm forward and see if we can feel this bone, this blade move on your back, okay? And then your elbow's gonna stay really firm and pretty stiff, and you're gonna draw your arm bones straight back, okay? We're gonna do that several times, feeling this relationship to this shoulder blade, okay? If you want, you can inhale, go forward, and exhale back. If breathing, right, exhaling, going forward, inhale, going back, feels better, do it like that. Nice, strong movements. We'll try 2 more. All right, so as you reach forward, right, the shoulder blade slides forward around, and that's called protraction. As your arm bone draws back, the shoulder blade hugs in towards your spine, right? Comes in, that's called retraction, okay? Pretty important movements for the shoulder blades. We want the shoulder blades to slide and glide on the back, okay? So we can take that left arm down and switch sides, bring that arm around. See if you can feel that right shoulder blade, right? Anywhere in this vicinity, okay? Stiff elbow, and you're reaching, right? And pulling back. Okay. Now, what we didn't talk about on the first side is trying to keep the shoulder down out of the ear. So we don't want to be way up here. Shoulder can rest down, right? So we have a healthy space between the ear and the top of the shoulder. And just noticing what you feel in that shoulder blade. We're all going to feel something similar, but we would probably all describe it a little bit differently. So you're the only one who has to really understand it in your body, right? So see how you feel, how you understand that. And then you could do both arms, right? Reaching and drawing back. Okay, so one thing that we talk and feel a lot in this class, right, is these abdominal muscles that wrap around. We talk about this every Tuesday, right? The importance of like this cummerbund corset that wraps around, okay? So as we're moving the arms here, a little more challenging, as you draw the arms back, don't push your chest forward. We're not looking for something like this, okay? You can maybe see all of that compression in my mid-back. Doesn't feel so good, okay? So really strong, like a plank, like a tabletop spine, like your constructive rest pose on the back, right? Can you hold your spine, right? Pretty stable as you do 2 more of these arm movements. Okay, then you're gonna find where your arm feels good to you in the socket. Meaning if I pull it way, way back, I get quite a pinch under the shoulder blades. It doesn't feel super great. If I reach way too far forward, I get really tight in the front of the chest. All right. So we want to think of win-win, feel win-win alignment, nice and wide across the chest and nice and wide and strong too across the upper back. So I like to call it the Goldilocks place. Where does the arm bone, right, fit back in my socket? You're going to feel that, and then we're going to open the arms up like a T, and then bring the arms out in front of you. So we're not going to do a whole bunch of these. You might feel this pretty familiar, like a warrior two arm almost. Same stability we needed in that last exercise. Trying not to move your spine a whole lot, right? So as the arms open, the shoulder blades retract, the shoulder blades come together. You might feel that. Try not to push your chest forward, okay? So lots of stability. If you want more of a challenge, see here if you can feel your shoulder blades move as you do 3 more. So feeling what you can't see. You can't see your shoulder blades. Can you feel your shoulder blades? Next time your arms are out like a T, you're gonna stretch, okay? So you're gonna stretch out wide, 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 really push out through your arms, okay? And then you're gonna keep that pushing out and bring your arms out in front of you. Push, 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 right? Reach, reach, reach. Flip your palms, okay? And keep pushing, okay? So you might see now, right? There's lots of space across my back. I don't have a valley between my shoulder blades. It's really nice and strong. I feel pretty wide back there and I feel really pretty strong. And we're gonna hold this for 3 more breaths. If you're really tired, let it go and come back to it. If you're still okay here, we're gonna just do a little wrist exercise. You're gonna point your fingers forward and take them down and then take them back up, okay? 4 more of those. Keep pushing. Really strong through that idea of your transverse abdominis, through your cummerbund muscles, right? Or your corset muscles, however you relate to those, keep breathing. I say that because I just was holding my breath. And then next time your arms, right, or your fingers come up, take them out wide again and let it come down. Woo! And roll them out. Woo! And give yourself a little massage. Okay, one more thing sitting before we go and stand up, okay? So I'm gonna do it on the side. I think it'll be easier for you to see. Okay, so left arm again. When your left arm comes higher than your shoulder, okay? So here's the arm, here's the shoulder. When it comes higher, this shoulder blade needs to slide up, okay? Okay, so we need that shoulder blade to slide up. Also, your arm bone can roll, right? It has rotation. So what do you feel here with your arm bone rolling in that socket? Again, really nice and strong through your rectangular core. So as you roll, we're not doing like a cat-cow here. Okay, not that that's wrong, we're just not doing that for this exercise. We're trying to hold that core nice and strong and roll this arm up here in the socket. Okay, so arms higher than the shoulder. If you need to be down here, do it down here, okay? Then you're gonna roll your left arm away, external rotation, okay? You might roll your palm all the way up, you might not, okay? It might be like here, okay? Then we're gonna take the arm up and then feel the shoulder blade slide up. We're gonna take the arm down and we're gonna do it 2 more times. On the third one, when your arm is up, okay, elbow higher than your shoulder, you're gonna slide your shoulder blade up, slide your shoulder blade down, slide your shoulder blade up, slide your shoulder blade down. My shoulders are getting tired. One more time. And then let it come down. Great, try it with the other arm, all right? So now your right arm, okay? If you have an impingement, keep it down. You don't have to force it any higher, okay? Work on that rotation, arm bone rolling away, okay? Arm bone rolling in. Right up here, right? So you have a ball in a socket here. It's a lot of mobility. You could go really slow because a lot of us could use more strength, okay? So you might add that idea of resistance, right? If you were in water, it would feel differently than in air, okay? So you're rolling, then you roll the arm away, right? You can lift and lower a few times. Shoulder blade, right? Slides up. Shoulder blade slides down. Arm comes down, okay? When your arm comes back up this time, holding it there for a couple breaths, see if you can feel that shoulder blade slide up and down. Yes, my upper back muscles are feeling this. My shoulders are definitely feeling this, okay? Woo. And then just come down, roll your shoulders. I'm gonna shake that out. All right, so we're not bearing weight right now, okay? So you might feel a little more movement, right, than if you were bearing weight like in downward facing dog or tabletop, all right? So we're gonna take both arms out. We're gonna have the palms facing up. If you need to bend your arms a little bit, do it, okay? And then we're gonna reach up. So they already have a little bit of external rotation. Knit the ribs, so make sure you're not pushing your chest forward. Knit your ribs, and then see if you can straighten your arms a little more, okay? And then look up at your palms and just flip at your wrists, flip your palms forward, okay? I'm gonna sit back a little bit so you can see, okay? So palms are forward, okay? And then reach. See what you feel. Can you feel your shoulder blades kind of protract, right? They're getting wider on your back. And you're reaching and stretching and lengthening. Take 2 breaths. Let your shoulders drop out of your ears so we're not really tight in the neck. Good, and then take your arms down and shake all that out. All right, so then we're gonna scoot back on your mat. Okay, I'm gonna go sideways again so you can see, right? So you can come to this kneeling shape, okay? You could be back on your feet like this if you want. You could be up kneeling like this if you want. You could even be standing, okay? So if this hurts your knees, you could stand. You'll see what we're gonna do. You're creative, you'll figure it out, okay? So we're gonna swing your arms shoulder height. Work on that rotation again. Rotating the arms away, roll. Lift, strong through your core. Okay, changing a little bit. Lift up through your back this time. Think of the back ribs really lifting up and stretching. Flip your palms. Exhale, fold over to tabletop. Strong hands, okay? Like there's a magnet on the ceiling pulling the back of your skull and your spine up, back body awareness. Okay, nice and long and super strong. Your friends are coming over to eat dinner on your back because you ran out of the furniture. Float your knees off the floor and hold floating table. Okay, push the floor away. Think of your breastbone pushing up, right? Just like we did a little bit earlier when we were seated. You're pushing your arms into the floor. Then go up and back, downward facing dog, or if it's too much, bend your knees and push back to child's pose. Take 2 breaths in your down dog. Then with an exhale, come back to your table. Sit back on your heels. Shake it out. Okay, remember this exercise where we took the arms out like a Y and we reached. So really reach, push out, out, out. Okay, strong through your core. Reach, 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 reach. Okay, I'm reaching, reaching, right? Then you take your stop sign hands, Okay, come to your table. Keep that push, push, push. Okay, keep pushing down. You want to push the floor away. That's going to float your knees up. Downward facing dog. You can keep your knees bent. You can push back into child's pose, or you can hang out in tabletop. Everyone finds a place. 5 breaths. When you feel it's been about 5 breaths, come back down to tabletop. Sit back, shake your wrists out, shake out your shoulders. Look to the right and left if you need to. All right, so I'm gonna do this with forearms now to give people an option, right? You might have kind of cranky wrists. So we're gonna do it on forearms. It's also gonna just wake up different muscles and you'll feel something a little different, okay? So you're gonna build your table, okay? Similar to how we just built the table, but this time we're gonna just walk your knees back a little bit further. So there's a little more room from the heel of your hand to your knee, okay? Now, remember, we don't wanna sag like this, okay? We don't wanna tuck the tail. So, feeling your table, okay? Nice and strong. And let your sternum press up if that helps you, right? Think of your spine going into your back body up towards the ceiling more. Okay, then we're just gonna bend your elbows a little bit. And then we're gonna straighten your arms. So you can incrementally take your elbows closer to the floor, trying to keep your spine the same shape when you go down, okay? So when you bend your elbows, don't collapse, right? And just drop your front body. Stay really strong and connected through your back body, right? For me, what works really well is I think of a magnet on the ceiling, and the magnet's pulling my spine up, and I'm slowly working against, right, that magnet's strength to pull my spine. So I don't want to just collapse through the front body, okay? Do maybe 2 or 3 more, nice and slow. Your elbows never have to totally touch the floor, right? We might not all have that range of motion. You're probably starting to feel more connected from that shoulder blade through that tricep area, okay? Then, right, after you've done 2 or 3 more, you might be really tired, be like, enough is enough, and you're just gonna push back, and you're gonna take a rest. If you're like, oh, this is kind of interesting, and your elbows are coming down, maybe they're touching, maybe they're floating, you could stay right here in this elbow table and take 3 breaths. So wherever we are, child's pose or elbow table, 3 nice, deep, mindful breaths across your upper back into the back of the ribs. Full exhales. With your next exhale, you're gonna choose. You can come out of your child's pose to table with straight arms. You could keep your elbows bent. You could curl your toes, okay? You're gonna push down. Remember, really push, push, push. Take floating table or lift up and take elbow dog. So you can have like a forearm, elbow, downward facing dog. You can also have a straight arm downward facing dog. You could be in child's pose, 3 breaths. With your 3rd exhale, we'll all lower down, and then we're gonna press back into child's pose, reach your arms out, and rest all of those muscles for 5 breaths. Just coming back to your present time experience. Shoulder work can be really challenging, so give yourself a big, deep internal hug for doing that challenging work. And then come on up to table. And then figure out how to come all the way on up to standing. And we'll switch gears, I promise, all right? So we'll come all the way on up to standing. We'll step your feet wide. Heels in, toes out. okay? Hands on your hips. All right, so hips stack under ribs, ribs stack under shoulders, right? Shoulders under ears. Then we're gonna take your hands and cross them up. Take 3 breaths underneath your hands here. Just back to feeling the breath across the collarbones through the front of the shoulders. We're gonna try and keep your chest up, and then up to you, how low do you wanna go in your sumo? So going down and coming up. Okay, today we'll inhale down, exhale up. Okay, being really mindful as we shift gears here that when you come up, you don't snap or lock your knees. So when your legs straighten, that moment of mindfulness is your legs straighten, that you're not popping and locking at your knee, okay? So let's try 5 more with that mindful piece right around the back of the knees. Great, on your last couple, if you want to come up and lift your heels and do a little balance, go for it. Fabulous, and then we'll come up, bring our hands to your hips. Pat your left leg's gonna roll in. Okay, your right leg's gonna roll out. So right here, attention to your 2 hips. Check that you didn't drop this right hip or lock that front knee, okay? So your right hip, about the same height as your left. It just helps you feel your body in space, okay? About the same weight in both legs as you bend your right knee just to your Goldilocks place. Maybe it's a little bit of a bend, maybe it's a little more. And just hold right there and take a full inhale and a full exhale. Now we're gonna reach your arms out in front. We're gonna take that Y. Okay, so when you find that Y, externally rotate. So look at your arms and roll your arms away from you. Tip from your hip, right elbow to right knee, left arm lifts up. Left arm is gonna come level with the left shoulder. Okay, one more time, roll your left arm. If you want, sweep it in line with your left ear. Okay, maybe it's out a little bit even in front. Okay, really strong through here, right? Remember how important it is to stay super connected through these transverse muscles all the way around onto our back. See if you can find equal weight in your legs and take 3 breaths. And with your exhale, super strong, come all the way on up. Right leg rolls in, left leg rolls out. Right, equal-ish weight. Back leg, your right leg, front leg, your left leg. Find your Goldilocks bend. Take a full inhale, a full exhale. Hips about the same height. Arms come out. External rotation. When you're ready, at the left hip, tip. Elbow to knee, right arm comes up. Reach your right arm level with your shoulder. Roll it away. Sweep it in line with your ear. 2 breaths. Strong through your midsection. Come all the way on up. Hands to your hips. Left leg rolls in, right leg rolls out. Hips the same height. Bend your right knee to your capacity, right? Where does it feel comfortable? Where do you feel strong, rooted and grounded? Take 2 breaths. Okay, a little bit differently this time. You're gonna take your arms out and reach. Remember when we were reaching? Reaching, reaching, reaching. Reaching, 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 reaching. Little opposite, right? We started reach. Okay, now you're gonna reach out and bring them back. Reach. Pull your arms forward. Tip over. Reach, reach. So I'm reaching with lots of energy, pulling my arm up towards the ceiling. Reaching towards you. rotating and reaching. Anchor through your back left heel. Feel your left back pinky toe and heel, and then stretch, right? All the way through this left side, through the hip and the ribs and the arms. 3 breaths. More challenging is bending your right knee a little deeper. Exhale, pull, reach, come on up. Sweet, switch sides, right leg rolls in, left leg rolls out. Bend your left knee just to your capacity. Pause, line things up. Take a couple breaths. Reach your arms out. Right, reach. Right, pull, reach. Strong. Good. Tip over. Reach. Good. I'm reaching towards you. Right, rotating that arm bone. Anchor through your back right pinky toe and heel, and then lengthen. Strong through here. Make sure you're not pushing your chest forward as you reach. 2 breaths. Come all the way on up. Hands to your hips. Good. Feet parallel. All right, so I'm lining my feet up parallel with the edges of the mat here. It feels a little different, a little tight in my hips, but it works, so I'm gonna stick with it. If it's painful, don't do it, okay? I'm gonna bring your arms, or you're gonna bring your arms out in front of you, okay? And then we're just gonna bend like forearms, okay? Like railroad tracks. I'm gonna do that 2 more times, okay? So side version is like this. If this is hurting your shoulder, go low. That's fine. All right. Okay, so next time you're here, right? Parallel forearms, parallel upper arms. You're gonna bring your arms in and squeeze, right? Imagine you have a towel between your rib and your tricep and you're pushing in, okay? And then you're gonna make Fonzie fists and thumbs and go out and in, okay? Out and in. So shoulder blades stay pretty set on your back and you're looking to find rotation. Again, upper arm bones roll out. Good, let's try 3 more. If you want, add a little bit of a squat. Right? Inhale. Exhale. Good, 2 more. Now, next time you go down, if you're doing the little squat, just a little bit of bend in your knee, okay? And you're rotating out. Now, for me personally, okay, this might also be really challenging for you. I'm gonna move my arms so you can see. When I come down to this shape and I'm externally rotating my arms out, my chest wants to super go forward like this. So in my body, I have to super concentrate on really keeping these ribs down and in and this muscle connection. You might be really, really different. So just check that. Okay, so we're out here. Then we're gonna take your hands and open them up and take 2 breaths. Then you're gonna exhale, reach out and straighten your legs. Inhale, pull in. Exhale. Inhale. Good, 3 more. Good, awesome. And then you're just gonna bring your arms down, step your feet together, let things rest, stand, and take 5 breaths, standing mountain meditation. So you might come back, check in, do a little body scan, see how you feel. Nice, and then feel that full exhale here. Okay, if you feel a little more grounded and anchored with wider legs, feel free to step wide. You can keep your feet together too. We're just gonna do a little bit of side bending, just to do a little bit of strength and stretch. Okay, so again, you can have your feet straight ahead. If that feels really tight for you through your hips, feel free to take your feet out a little bit, okay? So we're gonna start by letting your right arm feel really, really heavy, okay? And you're just gonna slide your right arm down. Okay, now when your right arm slides down like you were holding some weight here, check that these two hip bones are still pretty much straight ahead. We don't want to rotate back. It's really easy to kind of swing one side back, and that can really tweak your back. Ugh, might not feel so good, okay? So it's also always, right, you're connecting through here and trying to stay strong, okay? And then left side, you can feel like a little more connection through the left, and just go side to side a few times. Letting your spine bend. All right, if you want a lot more, right, you can take your arms up into rotation and go side to side with your arms overhead, okay? You can keep your arms down. You could do a little circle. Okay, so we'll do 2 more to each side. Just kind of following through. Can be as creative as you need. And then we're going to come back through to standing. Take a couple of breaths. Step your feet together. All right. So right foot's gonna lift up and it's gonna cross over your left. Up to you, right? You can stay on your tiptoes. You might put this foot all the way down, okay? So either place. Bring your arms out. You might stop here. You might come up higher. Your right arm's gonna swing underneath your left arm, okay? You might, without force, bring your knuckles together or your palms together. You might stay more crossed. If all of that is too strenuous through your shoulder or your back, you're just gonna bring your arms together. Work where you feel like the most connection to strength, okay? You can sit your butt down a little bit. You might lift your front right leg up off the ground a little bit. Get into your eagle balance with strength, and then count 3 inhales and 3 exhales. Take your full 3rd exhale. Come back, take your arms up as high as they can go comfortably without pain, and take a full body stretch. Then come back to standing mountain. Take about 3, 4, 5 breaths. When you're ready, left foot crosses over. Build, right, a foundation. If you need to hold on to the wall or a chair, do that. Taking your arms up, they're gonna rotate. Okay, now your left arm's gonna come underneath. Go slow, build slowly with strength. You don't need to force. Okay. So when you settle into your eagle shape, okay, you probably already noticed the shaking is kind of out of your control. That's part of the practice. So shaking doesn't mean you're not good at balancing. Shaking just creates a deeper, richer practice for us. Can we stay present even when our bodies shake and tremble? We stay with our breath, that relationship of your breath to the shake, to the tremble. Good. Challenge yourself to one more breath and then let it all go. Good, exhale, take your arms all the way up as high as they go without pain. Good, inhale, bend your knees, fold forward. Exhale, lift your chest. Inhale, fold and walk yourself out, tabletop, downward facing dog, or that elbow dog that we did. 3 breaths. With your third exhale, come down to hands and knees. I'm going to take a 1-minute challenge, okay? So before you go down into your Shavasana or your rest, you can come to tabletop with straight arms. You can come down on your elbows to your elbow table. If you're tired and you don't want the minute strength challenge, press on back, take child's pose, or go straight into Shavasana, okay? So either tabletop or elbow table, you're going to take your right leg back as wide as your mat. You're going to take your left leg back as wide as your mat, right? And you're going to find your super strong plank, and you're going to hold it and count 10 breaths. Okay, keep counting. Keep breathing. Challenge yourself appropriately. When you're tired, it's okay to rest. If you need to rest, come down to tabletop. If you want to go a little longer, we're all going to meet back in a child's pose or roll onto our backs and draw our knees into our chest. So making your way down to tabletop, back to either child's pose or rolling onto your back. And then all of us coming back inward, that practice of coming back to embodiment, back into our bodies with awareness. Finding a really comfortable, easy, supportive shape. We'll take the last minute here to check in. So, noting what you have to do the rest of the day. What do you have going on? How can you use this last minute most effectively, right, to really add benefit to the rest of your day? We'll take the last minute in silence. Remembering rest can be very, very beneficial. It can help ground us, can help us release and let go of stress and tension. Maybe your shoulders are tight and you're doing a little shoulder stretch. Maybe you're choosing to just lie back and daydream. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, just let your breath feel a little longer. So we'll take 3 nice, long, deep inhales through our nose. And then just 3 long exhales through your mouth. You can keep moving, the relationship of movement and breath. You could be in stillness. Combining action, stillness, and breath. Then with your next exhale, just start some really slow, easy movements. Waking up, coming back to your body. How does it feel here to gently move your body? You might take a full body stretch if you're on your back. You might draw your knees in. You might roll your knees around a little bit if that feels okay on your back. If you're seated, you might take your arms up. You might do a full stretch side to side, kind of moving around however is most comfortable for you. And then with your next 2 exhales, we're gonna roll all the way over and we'll all come on up to sitting. And when you get to sitting, just pause for a moment. And just take a short moment here. Think of 2 or 3 things you're extremely grateful for. And just settle into that feeling of being grateful and thankful. To feel gratitude for 2 or 3 deep breaths. Hey, thanks everyone for coming today to class. I'm going to open up the Q&A. Please feel free to ask any questions that you might have. I'll try and answer them the best I can. High fives to everyone. Namastes and thank yous. Thank you, I will. It says, thanks, be safe, be well. I will, you too. I hope everyone is. Oh, good, thanks. I'm glad that I got a positive on the upper body work, so I'm glad that works. I hope it works, and you can always give yourself a little shoulder and neck rub later today if you feel tight up there. Sweet, awesome, thank you. Good, it sounds like people really appreciate the shoulder work. We'll kind of stick with some more of that. I know sometimes it can be really hard. Shoulders are really confusing and they're very, very hard for me to understand. So if you're in that same boat, we can work on it together.
Okay, it looks like that is it for the questions. Thanks so much, Alicia, for
Thanks, everyone.
today.
Oh, I have a question.
See session, can I find? Oh.
You can find the session on the Monona Terrace website. So you could just Google Monona Terrace, Madison, Wisconsin, and it'll take you to the website. And then
actually, I was going to say, you can go ahead and Google mindful movement, Monona Terrace, and that should take you actually to the event page. And that's where we post all of the previous webinars for mindful movement. You might have to scroll down a little bit on that page, but they're all listed there. Thank you for your question. Sorry for jumping in there.
Oh no, I'm so glad because you're way savvier than I am. It might have taken her like a half an hour to get there from my way. So.
Okay, well, that ends our webinar today. Thank you so much for joining us. And we hope to see you all next week. Thank you, Alicia.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a good week.